All right, I think that we are getting live.
Cloak.
All right, hello everybody. We are the Cap Race Podcast. Welcome back to episode 18. I am That Zero, joined of course by my co-hosts. As always, we have DK and Jawline. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Hope you guys are doing good too.
Yeah,
Doing all right. Drinking my beer, the usual.
nice, nice.
Mine's chilling right now. I gotta let it chill for a little bit.
Very good. Love it. So we got a new boy this week. Part 2 of the Attack on Titan collab. Very, very fun. Love it. How was your guys' pull luck on getting Levi?
Well, I did the step up. I got Levi's arc, and that was about it. I didn't get anything from the tickets. Haven't gotten any. Oh, I got a dupe of the arc from a daily single, so gotta love that.
Yeah, that's
But
very
that's
fun.
about it.
Okay, okay. Hey, thanks for everybody that showed up early to the podcast, watching us live. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for stopping by.
For your love and support.
How about you, DK? How'd things go for you?
Oh, it went good. We had a Discord. God, it was actually a crazy night. It was a really crazy pull night. I don't know, man. My luck's been pretty nuts in this collab.
Yeah?
I'll post a video later on tonight. I just been really busy at work.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a very, very. So I mean, I got him and the arc, but just the consistency of it is just fun to watch. And it was, yeah,
Awesome.
it was pretty dumb. Yeah, it was me, Yaj, and 13, and a couple other guys in Discord. We all stayed up for the launch of him, and man, we were just all on fire. Like it was just, it was
That's
like
great.
4 a.m. We probably woke up the whole neighborhood like screaming and stuff. Like it
Awesome.
was fun.
That's great.
Yeah, that's the best thing about pulling, man. You got a group of guys with you, just kind of doing the same thing, getting screwed over. It always kind of it makes up for it.
It's one of two things. It's either like some of the most hype stuff to do, or
Yeah.
misery loves company, and it's fun to
Yes.
just laugh at how horrible things go.
Like as bad as it can go for one person, you can't help but feel happy for the guy that did pull.
Yeah,
even though
exactly.
like deep inside you're just so mad.
Yeah,
Like jawline.
mine definitely went
What?
better than Mikasa for sure. Mikasa, I had a chance at getting her on my final 10 pull ticket. It was something new. It was a guaranteed unit, and it was either her or Shift Goroth were the only choices, and I ended up getting Goroth. But I really wanted him anyway, so arguably, like, my account is better off with him anyway, to be quite honest. Because I didn't really need her, to be honest. Like, she would have been cool. I would have loved to build her and use her, but yeah, now I got Goroth, and yeah, I'm able to do some cheesy things with him now, so that's pretty great. But Levi, I came in and did the paid step up, and got him on the third step.
Damn, dude.
Must be nice.
That is awesome.
Yep.
That is
So
awesome.
I saved my gems and just did that. I'm still sitting on like 1,000 paid, I think, for whatever comes next, because I bought a big thing from
Nice.
back when I got Ardene's accessory, so I got enough for basically that plus Mikasa plus Levi step up plus whatever next step up is, and I've done some daily singles too. So. And then I'm sitting on an extra like 9K unpaid or something because I didn't have to spend on this guy. So
Right. Yeah.
Feels good.
Oh, I ended up like kind of going a little hard just because of like I like I said, it was a crazy night and I wanted to test to see how far I could go. So I ended up wasting about like 22K. I only wasted $10 paid and walked out with everything. So yeah, I know. I don't know, man. It just like DMC last year. I got all three. I got all the arcs. I got all the units around the exact same time.
Damn.
We had the
Yeah.
collab. So like I'm like, man, is it just like a rinse and repeat for me or something? Like, am I gonna get shitted on at the end of the year like I always do?
Yes,
So-
yes, you are. Your pull karma's
Yes,
going
you
away
are.
early again.
Thanks, Ed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then hopefully this next collab is gonna be interesting
Yeah.
for me.
On the
Or
bright
maybe
side, everybody makes the jokes about every unit is bait for the next thing. And, we might very well get the next best thing next. But Levi, he's kind of a pretty great thing right now. So, yeah, just a few notes on this guy. So, Getting final attack on Titan character. Of course, they all have some similar traits, but he does get them a little bit better than everybody else. At least some of them. So, for instance, everybody gets the gas charges, so if you're not close enough to things, you can zoom in very, very quickly across the map. You get like plus 20 speed, plus 30 speed, whatever the hell it is, to be super zoomy. But he gets 3 extra charges of it, so instead of 5, you get 8, so it's a little bit more reliable. His Snap Blades has a 50% less chance to break, so it's only a 0.55% chance to break. He will definitely still break them, because he has pretty high hit counts and such, but he does pretty well with it. If they didn't give him that, he probably would break them very, very fast. So, yeah, great trait to have.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I do kind of wish that along with those, they had the change blades be a little better, like 50% quicker, like every 5 seconds you get that reapplied. So like off of death, he gets it a little bit quicker, or when it breaks, it comes back in only 5 seconds, because 10 seconds is pretty long for change blades. Especially considering like when they're pretty good in the anime, it's pretty fast. Like they're not taking 10 seconds while fighting a Titan to replace their blades, you know?
No.
So...
No.
It would have been nice, but he doesn't really need it. He's pretty great anyhow. As far as I can tell, if we're looking at just raw DPS, he is the highest DPS for single target we have in the game now. Like, he has actually overcome Luke, which, you know, we haven't really, you know, seen yet. We've seen a lot of side creeps of, in this specific case, like, Ardeen killing dragons. Obviously, he's the best at killing dragons. But, like, for single target specifically, Levi just flat out does better. Especially when we just look at the numbers on his S3. Comes with 2 charges, 36 hit dual wield. When you have all the conditionals, so Snap Blades is still active, and also you're behind a target, because he actually gets an extra 5k cap from backstabs. He's sitting at a 34k cap. And if he's not backstabbing and Snap Blades breaks, he's at 21k, which is still pretty respectable, considering it's a 36 hit count, and it's a pretty damn quick animation, too. Yeah. So it feels really, really good. And, yeah, it's awesome. Now, I will say, I have seen a lot of people, especially in the Discord, being like, oh man, they finally did it. He's, like, better than Luke. He's not really better than Luke, because there's, like, so many other factors that come into play. Like, if we're talking, again, perfect conditions, single target, yes, he's better than Luke. But Luke does a lot of things that, like, Adis intentionally made him to be the pinnacle DPS, and, like, he still holds true to it. Like, his abilities, the ones you're using for damage, they're all persisting. So if he gets flinched, his damage goes through. Levi's isn't going to. He can get flinched out of stuff and lose damage. Luke has wide range on his stuff, especially that S3, that you're just not going to get with Levi. You can make Luke into a break monster. Levi, he's not going to compete with that. So, like, even though raw DPS is a place where he excels, he's not just literally better than Luke, you know? So, which I think is great. Like, in a sense, he's still another side creep where he's better in this case scenario, but he doesn't exceed Luke as a whole, you know? Like, he's not a 10 out of 10 unit. He has problems.
Right.
So...
Yeah. He has quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Not like game breaking or anything, but like
the
inconsistency does become a problem at some points.
Yeah. Before I get into some of the other specific things, another broad note that I wanted to say of my experience with him is he is pretty disgusting in Arena. Like, I saw his kit, and I was like, can I make this guy just, like, eat tanks alive? And you kind of can. It gets pretty gross. Like,
I was a victim.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, I consider Jawline's defense one of the tankier defenses that I have to go against. Like, him and Tweaks in general are, like, some of the harder people to fight. If you're trying to just, you know, unga bunga physical DPS. So I used him as a test, and I went in and was just one-shotting with S1s taking down the tanks. And I was like, oh, this is a thing that's happening now. Okay.
Pretty great. Great.
So the reason for that is, one, he's got, you know, I'm gonna bounce around a little bit on some of these, but one, in Arena in general, Human Slayer is the best possible Slayer kit to get. That just covers, like, like 80% of the things getting used. The only other stuff that's really, really key is like if you're in arena and you really want to get your Slayer coverage, like you had God Slayer, you had Machine Slayer, and you're pretty much hitting almost everything. At least things that are going to threaten you. Special boost for free, beautiful, love it. But these are some of the big things. Shockwave 2, I believe only Lanceveil also has this.
Yeah, I think so.
And also Armor Piercer, which is only on Yashimaru. So this is, I believe, a 35% chance to drop their defense by 30%. He already has a passive ignoring 20% of defense in general. So then a chance at this going. You can also use regular Piercer for 7 for another, like, 25% chance to reduce it by, what is it, like 50 on that one? I don't remember the exact numbers on a regular Piercer, but that's an option to just...
piercing?
Yeah, for regular piercing. Yeah.
I think it's 30% chance for 50%.
That could be.
I think.
Let's see. 25% chance to ignore 50.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But either way, you can combine those to be really great. Now, Shockwave, this is where
Right.
things start getting dirty, because obviously tanks are really good because they can get their guards that happens, they can get MP back, they can get healing with guard heal, all that sort of fun stuff. Well, Shockwave 2 is a 7% chance to just nullify guard, break their guard. You can combine that with regular Shockwave, which stacks for 5%. You can add the Broken Gate Hammer, which hasn't seen a ton of play, I don't think, but that's another 5%. It's basically the piercing effect stacked onto the hammer, and I don't have this, but if you do, from the Dr. Stone collab, the Kanryu spear style, because you could run the Refia spear on him if you want, or you could even run the Fiend Horn on him, the one that has a chance to reduce elemental resistance and a chance to pierce, just to stack more and more piercing along with all this other stuff, and then that's another 5% chance to break. So cumulative 22% chance to break. It doesn't actually add up like that because they're all their own triggers, but when you're hitting for, 36 hits on your S3, you're probably breaking everything. And it feels pretty gross. So, yeah, feels awesome.
With all this, armor piercing and ignoring and everything, I'd imagine that just running Stone World would solve all of that.
True. Yeah, for sure. I'm not a huge fan of spending 7 on piercing. So it's his innate one for piercing, I think, is plenty. And then the guard breaking is really the biggest deal, in my opinion. Like being able to just break the guard, because Stone World doesn't prevent your guard from being broken. It just prevents piercing effects. So
yeah.
And in which case, yeah, cool. You're not going to get the piercing effect, but yeah, you're still going to get hurt when you're not guarding, and that's a huge portion of your kit. So feels pretty cool. Love it. Let's come back out here. So after getting through all the broad stuff there, let's take a look at what his actual setup is here. So ailments, he's pretty balanced overall. Resistant in blind, curse, and stun, which I think are some of the most important for most content. If anybody just wanted a cheap way to just get coverage, this is a good instance where the green multiplayer ring kind of comes in big, where it just gives a +1 to everything, so then he just becomes nil in all of these for that accessory slot, and then bumps illness up a little bit, so you could clean that up a little, but illness usually isn't a huge deal, except in arena, but,
right,
Worst case, you could also, if you really wanted to, do the same thing that we talked about on the last episode with Aaron, where you could just run Mistletoe in the Stone World arc, yeah. And then that'll just clean him right up. He will still be only resistant to illness, though, since it's a +3. So, I guess that's a thing, but meh. It'll be fine. His abilities, I'm not going to get too hugely into them. S1 is largely like Aaron's. He zips past somebody and then comes back for a big chunk of damage. He just has much more hits, so it's way more effective. Tisk Filthy. This one is basically, he instantly does a spiral of damage in front of him, backs up to disengage, and then lunges back in for a big burst of damage. And it feels like that burst of damage at the end has really high scaling on it, because it seems like an arena that can finalize the kill, whereas the first hits are kind of chip damage. But that doesn't do any spinning around, so whatever side of an enemy you're on, it's going to either be backstab or not. It doesn't cycle around. Whereas his S1 and his S2, or S1 and S3, especially the S3, it feels like about 50% of the hits are on each side. So, like, you're still getting high damage no matter what side you're attacking from, which is just convenient. But your positioning will actually have to be good for his S2. And the S3, already kind of talked about it. Sorry, go ahead.
From what I was gonna say, from what I heard, and I think Bago, I think he posted it in the LC Discord in the hardcore chat. I think he said that JP users were testing and they found out that like 6 to 8 of his hits on the S3 are backstab, and then the rest aren't. I don't know how true that is because I haven't done it, but JP's always ahead, so I think it's pretty reliable. Source. So just from what he said, 6 to 8 count as backstab from the hits.
Yeah. So that's another thing to consider when we're talking about like the extra damage that's happening is like, yes, we have a 34k cap on a 36 hit skill, but you're not actually getting 34. You're going to be down at 29 for half, potentially more of those. It just depends on the thing you're fighting and how your positioning is working. So, yeah. Either way, it's still a really great skill. One thing that I did find, if you're looking to, like, I don't know, I guess min-max on your resource management, is it seems like some of his skills, the position it leaves you at, is slightly out of range of certain other skills, and I haven't tested to see what combinations are really good. So, for instance, his S1, if you dash in, and then on the way back he dashes back out, his body kind of slides after the last couple hits, and if right off of there, I think you go into either like another S1, maybe an S3, I don't remember the exact ones that are bad, you're not technically in range, so you're still going to burn gas in order to do that hit even though you're right next to somebody, because like the range is just like slightly off. So I just figured I'd point that out. It could be a good or a bad thing, but I think it's worth testing for people if like, hey, I need to reserve my speed, or hey, maybe I want more damage, because we have to also remember the gas doesn't only increase our speed, it gives us plus 30% damage on that skill too. So, sometimes that could be a net positive overall just because you're hitting extra hard too. So, just figured I'd throw it out there. The best discipline is pain. So his alt A looks really fucking cool. We'll just say that. We'll just go out and say that right away. It looks absolutely fantastic, and I love it. Gets, let's see, 68 hits because of true dual wield. Pretty okay. Now, he doesn't have a crazy cap on it. I was really hoping on this trait, even though it specifically says physically rear attacking, you get these things. I was really hoping that this damage cap would go for just damage in general, and his special would get that if you're behind, but it doesn't. This is only for physical, for when he's attacking from behind. So his default cap is actually only like 14k, which isn't too crazy. But we obviously have ways that we can boost that up between Eldrov, if you have Sarah, or multiple Sarah. There's things that you can do for that. If we eventually get that Earth UR to give us like 3k cap like we have for a lot of the other elements, that will help that as well. So right now, though, there's not a ton. But in a sea of ultimates that only do damage, and most of them suck, it's a pretty damn good ult. Like, it's a really good ult. You can do quite a bit of damage, especially if you, say you're running Gwar, so you can get them back to back. If you're running Eldrov, so that you can get that extra 5k, you can do pretty sizable amounts of damage. I know one of the easy ways you can take down the Titan in that Titan fight is just get him weakened down to about 20%, and at about that like 15 to 20% mark, his ult will finish the rest of that HP bar. It's pretty good. Pretty good. It's not going to be the same as like a maxed out, Jlorg or Swimsuit Alice. I'm guessing probably not even as much as OG Alice, but I don't have her, so I don't really have a solid feel, but she seems like she just demolishes things, so I assume it's not quite as good as her either. But compared to almost everything else, Lug too. Lug has one of the best ultimates as well for DPS when you can maximize it. So, but for everybody else, like, it's a really goddamn good ult, and it feels pretty great. It does take a long time to charge, though, so, like, unless you've got, unless you're really going to try to abuse it, you're probably not going to be able to, like, via Gwar, or maybe you can run, like, Phoenix Blow. If you just know you're going to need it in a final wave, you could be mobbing to get special back faster. But, yeah. If you just Gwar level 10, there you go, you're good. No problem. Or Gwar on him in general. But yeah, so abilities, pretty solid. And I'm not going to go through the entire kit, just like last time. We're just going to jump down to the things that are unique. So I already talked about true dual wield. It's regular dual wield, except hits your ult as well. The only other units that have this are both Alice's. So yeah, it's worth pointing out. It's cool that they gave it to a different unit. I also want to point out, he has Sword Mega Boost. This is the only thing that needs a sword. So if you find that a build that you're shooting for doesn't quite need swords as much as something else, like for instance we were talking about the break combo with having spear style and broken gate hammer, we don't have a sword there, you just lose 30% physical attack, which compared to a lot of units, that's not the biggest deal. And in PvE it's 2k cap, which when you've got a 34k cap, not the biggest loss. Granted, swords are obviously really good, so usually you're going to want to use them on him, but it's not the worst thing. So like he can have some build variety if you want to, which I always appreciate. A couple of unique skills here. Neat Nick. We haven't really seen this type of thing on people before. It's basically the inversion of the when at max HP. So as soon as he gets dinged for a little bit of damage, he gets a strength and defense plus 20%, which helps quite a bit for survivability. It feels like if you just give him a pretty modest amount of tankiness, PvE, he does really, really good. Despite the fact that, like, if I just scroll really quickly through this, he has pretty much all offensive capabilities except for, like, Illusion and Auto Protect. And technically Awaken. But, like, everything else is just pure glass cannon stuff. He's got Brave, he's got attack drives, surprise attack, speed, piercing, sharp eyes, like just all aggro, so much aggro, which I'm happy to get aggro stuff for free. It makes his scaling really solid overall. Like if you just add a little bit extra, I found that he was at least on backstabs for sure, and usually on frontal attacks as well. He's usually capping without like swapping slayers around and stuff. The only exception I found was Vajra, which he eats alive, being weak to earth, but I did find I need to put on Godslayer at least to get my damage consistent on him. There might be a combination where, you know, you might not need it, but yeah, him against Vajra, it's a good time. it's pretty great. Irwin's Plan, this one's really cool, and I especially like it for Arena too. So the only thing I don't like, I hoped when I saw this, I assumed that this was going to be standard buffs because it says and. It says we get a physical attack buff and physical attack taken debuff to all of our allies. I hoped that this would be like Gen, who gives like monster attractiveness and physical damage up and like science magic up to all your allies, and it's a unique buff. This is not. This gives you the standard physical attack damage buff, same as Tink, and same as like Pirate Flag. And then you just get...
Oh, damn.
And then you take more damage. What this does do, though, at least the main place that it seems okay, is, you know, I think Pirate Flag is a pretty commonly run thing if you're going to run an aggro comp in Arena. You could just have that accessory slot free now, and this will last... This is a 40-second buff instead of a 10-second buff at 25% to your whole team. Granted, they're going to get slightly squishier, but I think that it's pretty worth. And it's a skill, so you can shut it off. So like if you don't want that negative of the debuff, maybe you're running Tink already, and you're getting a wave start buff already for physical attack, you can just turn this off, and then there's no negative to your life, which is great. So I'm glad they did that instead of putting it on as trait.
I like the art. If you've seen the anime, you probably know what this is kind of referencing to. I know the anime's been out for a while now, but and I don't want to spoil it, but I think the physical damage buff and then the damage taken just from the anime or the episode that this is from, makes total sense. And although if it like actually stayed, I guess more true, that 10% damage taken probably would have been a lot higher. But I guess, obviously you don't want to just like completely screw over your team. But from the anime, it makes sense, and I like it.
Yeah. And honestly, my take would have been, I'd have been totally happy with making this like a plus 25% damage taken if it was a unique icon and it stacked with everything else. Like, I'd take that glass cannon risk reward, personally. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard that a lot.
I could agree with the 25% damage taken. That's definitely more along the lines in the anime. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, I've heard that from some other people as well, that's really, really in line with the anime and is a super cool skill because of it. So, yeah, any questions on Levi? Things that you didn't maybe think about or just were kind of wondering about how he works? Or things to add?
No, I mean, when I saw his kit and just like saw his, skills and all that, I was like, okay, well, he's, obviously just a really, like a glass cannon, right? He's meant to do DPS, and he does DPS really well. His presence in arena, just, touching the arena side, his presence in arena, to me, it's lower than Mikasa simply because of the fact that he doesn't have that 7-second invincibility from physical damage. So if I see, like, I've seen teams that run Roy, Levi, Mikasa, and then like Theria or a tank, and still to this day, Roy's threat is still the highest out of anybody. So should you run against a Roy, Levi, and Mikasa, definitely take out the Roy. Mikasa, pop her just so that you can get rid of the trait, and then you can go for Levi. But just his presence alone in arena, at least on defense, like if you're fighting
absolutely.
them, his presence isn't that big of a deal because you can just snipe him, and then he loses all his he loses his buffs or whatever. So he's not a threat. Obviously on offense, he's a god because you have more control over him, but his presence in arena, it's no different than any other DPS, in my opinion. Just because the fact that you can just snipe him out of the map.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I haven't played with him too much on defense, but I assume that it would be a very similar sentiment to Mikasa because, like, their hit ranges are so similar. And, like, to be a huge threat, like, the reason Roy is so crazy is just because wherever his impact is, odds are extremely high he's hitting everybody on the board. Yeah. So, like, there's not much you can... so, like...
manually move out of the way.
Exactly. If you don't have something like that, it just can't be that incredibly threatening. The only thing that he has that helps him is just the fact that he eats tanks. So, like, usually, all the DPS is just going to go onto your tank's going to laugh, and then you're going to have time for your DPS to go in and do stuff. If a Levi goes in and uses 1 or 2 skills and your tank dies, he can suddenly start going around and killing other people too. So that's about the only thing if he's not respected enough, but I agree. He seems like a pretty low priority overall. So
right. I mean, his Human Slayer, makes him potent for sure.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, his priority isn't that high, at least for me.
So one thing, this is very random. I understand that there's the jokes about him being short, but why'd they have to put his art low? Like, they didn't even put top to his art. Like, his head touches the background. Like, this is all transparent up here. Like, just slide it up. Just let the swoop come in here. Like, this just bothers me that, like, 25% of this art is non-existent.
Listen, you just gotta stay true to his shortness.
It's just sitting low. Oh man, it's so annoying. Okay, I want to go over. We can take a look at their paid, and then we'll switch over to the arc as well. Cool.
Yeah. Good.
So Mikasa's blades, or not Mikasa, the other one.
Levi.
Levi.
Levi's blade.
Yeah.
Boy.
So Levi's blade. We'll look at the other one, but out of the two, if you already have the credentials, I think the sword's probably the way to go. I don't think that it's crazy broken like some things that we've seen, but Earth damage cap, that means that he gets that on his special too, which we already talked about how low that special cap is, so this helps that out quite significantly. Physical attack up and a massive special damage boost too. I guess I didn't talk about it too much, but the scaling on his special attack is not obscene like Aaron's, where it just auto caps almost. You do have to put like alt boost, maybe alt boost 2, or special boost, whatever it's called, I don't remember. So like this 30% would definitely help if you're wanting to leverage that ultimate, and I think that it's definitely pretty solid. Plus, there's no earth swords in the game. So if you want to be on element using a sword, far as I know, there's not one. So
like even like a 4-star, not even.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No.
I mean, I could potentially just not have everything,
is.
but so like for when I was looking at like Ardene's gear, I was like, all right, I'll go with the accessory because I think it's quite likely that a neutral machine could come into the Godforge in the next 6 months that would be really good, maybe even on par with his paid. I think the odds of us getting an Earth Sword specifically is probably a really long ways out, or unlikely, of like getting a good Earth Sword, because that's so incredibly niche, you know?
Yeah, because then we recently, well, not recently, but then weren't we without a Earth Claw for the longest up until one of the story updates, right?
Kind of. Basically, they gave it to us when we got Leona. So if that was the same here,
Right.
like what they've always done in the past is if they gave us something like this, the shop should have been updated to have some like mediocre Earth Sword in it. That's what they've always done. This is the first time where we got a paid where it's like, this is literally the only of its type. So, a little bit dirty, but also he doesn't really need it. You could just run Pure Blade. You can run, you know what, we'll talk after this about different weapon options, because I think people like to hear that sort of stuff. All right, and then his Cloak. This, sort of in a similar vein to Mikasa's, I think, except I think worse overall, but just generally some value. We've got continuous haste. I don't care about haste too much. I know it feels cool to some people, but like there's way better ways to get SCT back, and this just generally ain't it. I'd rather heal spam with Spirit Breath than rely on haste. So like technically it saves you what, like 14, 15 SC, I think, if you wanted to equip that, but like you shouldn't be equipping continuous haste anyway. So it's fine. Bunch of HP, chance to nullify physical damage taken. Okay, we've seen this before. I can only assume this is 10%, just like every other one that we have. Because we have one of the last story updates, we got Armored Vest, which was a 10% chance. This is what Ardene's had, was 10%. Usually it's 10%. And then minus damage from boss is 10%. Not bad, actually. Like, that can add up. So, I'm not mad at that. And Illness and Stun Resist. Cool. Nice. It's not a bad paid gear. Like, I'd take it over a Prism, probably, you know? But I'd take the Blade over this.
If you had to pick between one piece of gear between, let's say you got both units and you had to pick one piece of gear, what would you pick?
For, like, between Mikasa and...
Mikasa and Levi.
And Levi? Yeah. Hold on, let me take a look at hers again here. I do vaguely recall this being, like, pretty good. Honestly, I really like her scarf. to be quite honest,
I'd go with that scarf.
That's the best answer.
This is so much SC saves. This is a lot of value.
It's a lot
of stuff you
of
actually
value.
Want, you know? So
yes.
I don't think that's even close. I think after that it would be probably Levi's Blade.
Because I think eventually we will get a sword. Now, it could be sooner than later, or it could be a while from now, but eventually we will get an Earth Sword. So that scarf is probably one of a kind at this moment.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many stats on one paid weapon before. Especially with that high of a value. So, honestly, even since I did get her on the first couple of pulls, like, the question is, like, would I spend the extra money getting that? And for me, the answer is yes. Just because of how great it is on her, and it's an accessory. You know what I mean? So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had a couple people asking, what I only have, this many credentials. I can buy one piece of accessory, or one armor, or one accessory, or one weapon. Which should I get? And I've always pointed towards that scarf. So I just wanted y'all's opinion on that.
Yep. Yeah, I'd say
Scarf,
so.
100%.
Okay.
Oh, I suppose that does kind of bring up a controversial topic, sort of, where the question could also be like, if you have both, do you care about Mikasa anymore? Because according to Discord,
yes.
Mikasa's trash.
Yes.
Mikasa's trash
No.
because
Oh,
Levi's so
come
good.
on.
That's like the
No.
amount of times I've heard that is baffling and
bullshit.
hilarious. Like, yeah, like if when we're talking about units that like I don't know what they're actually rated on the tier list, but I would say Levi is probably going to end up somewhere at like 9.8, 9.7, 9.8. Mikasa's probably 9.5, probably. Like, when we're talking in that range, you're talking about a top-tier unit versus a tippy top-tier unit. Like, if you think the other one is bad...
reversed.
What's that?
It's gonna be reversed. You're gonna have one top. You're gonna have one higher the other in arena, one higher the other in PVE. I think that's probably where it. It just depends.
I don't know. Maybe. I feel like Levi possibly might be better in arena, just for like aggro potentially. Which is like the only thing that kind of matters, because they both aren't going to be good enough on defense. And when it comes to offense, like, they can both rip things apart, but she seems like she relies pretty heavily on crits. And there's a lot of stuff that counters crits. He just does big damage. And as Human Slayer. And Breaking Guard. And Piercing.
Are you done?
just saying. Sorry to shit on your girl.
She gets the point, she gets the point in arena just because of her trait.
Yeah, she's still great regardless. So
she gets a point.
Yeah, anybody else that's like saying that she's bad because Levi exists is like, just stop it. Stop comparing things directly to other things. Like, if you go look at the tier list,
stop comparing Levi to Logue. Just stop.
See, a lot of people do, like, they compare just so that they, like, because that's the only way that they can gauge if a unit is good or not.
No.
Like, hey, is this unit better than this unit? Okay, so I'll pull because they're better. They don't have any other form of like gauging if a unit is good or not without putting someone else down.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of a strange like mindset that some people have in this game. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, Logan's really good, and Levi is really good, and Mikasa's really good. Just leave it at that. Do you need one or the other? Like, that's just the way I look at it.
Oh, hey,
I just got lucky enough to pull both. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have caught up with chat at all. I haven't really taken much.
I was gonna say we've got an Earth Sword. Levi's Duster.
Yeah, apparently Levi's Duster is an Earth Sword. So thanks for calling that out. So yeah, they did follow suit. So pretty fantastic. Good stuff. Another note on just something else that was just added in this event. That is just a nice tool for arena. These effects we don't get very often. Maiden Leaf. This is this is not it. Sorry, hold on. That's not the one. This one. This is a 15% chance to do an extra 50% physical attack damage. So when we're talking trying to get spiky hits to just like instantly nuke people, not a bad piece of gear. And it's a spear, which means you can turn on spear boosts for some extra tankiness, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Also stuff that you can run on Levi if you wanted to and didn't have other options. But let's talk really quickly about just like some gear in general that you could use that I think is solid. I won't go through like all of the options, but
hammer.
So you could do hammers in PvP. This is the one that I was talking about. This is the chance to break guard. I think this works really great in arena if you have it. So that's an Ether reward. For PvE, he already has Human Slayer, but obviously Experion just works great on almost anyone. So you don't need to worry about the crit rate unless you want to try building into crit, but he has none innately, so I don't love building into it. I'd rather just make his physical damage as consistent as possible, and then just like boost that cap, potentially. But if you wanted to do it, this helps with that, and you can run Heaven Star Bow or whatever.
Whites are fine. Whites are fine. Backstabbing whites, I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Pure Blade, obviously, stand out. Everybody can use Pure Blade, and it's just excellent. I haven't used Sword of Lost Souls in a really long time because Pure Blade is just so good. But the fact that it also boosts special attack damage, and like he actually has a good special, I don't hate it. So you could potentially, if you wanted to just have a generic unit, you could run this with Trish so that his regular attacks and his skills as well as a special ignores resistance, and he's just generally covered. So not too bad there. This is one of my favorite things to throw on any Earth unit. Earth attack damage. This is normally plus 20%. You get it to plus 40, and it's a plus 25%. This is called like the Refia Sphere, something like that. It's from Final Oath. The fact that it's just flat Earth damage means, again, it's another way to boost his ult damage if you needed to hit cap still, and you cared about using his ultimate. Otherwise, it's just a really good tool for just helping get his damage up, while also making him a bit of a bruiser, because this, again, spear, so you can use spear boosts on him. So
Yeah.
I like it. Plus for Goddess Kiss procs, it's Earth, and we don't have a ton of Earth options. So
And there's actually a lot of spear boosts now, like different kind of spear percentage boost now. I mean, it's only in like the LR arcs and stuff like that, but
yeah,
Sukasa did come with some pretty cool, like, because he's basically spear, so he came with a lot of cool like percentage boosts on his spears and stuff like that. So if you guys have that,
yeah,
look into that too.
Absolutely. For people that just, if you happen to gone through story, because you get this for free, just another budget option. Featherclaw, this is the Earth one we were talking about that came out with Leona. If you're going for that crit build, Heaven Bow that goes with Heaven Starload arc, also not bad, just gives an extra 10% crit rate. So yeah, decent little options, nothing too crazy. But yeah.
He's a fun build. He's an easy fun build.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think
fun.
he is missing a lot of things that like you'd probably like that you're going to want. You don't have to build as much damage, like I said before, but like he doesn't come with some staples like Goddess Kiss, Pirate Feast, much of any sort of sustain. So like you're gonna want to run either like Moon Saber or like a minor like Proud Force build that's efficient or something, you know. So. Yeah, I did find it seems like with a modest Proud Force build, like he does a pretty good job. He could sustain like Berserker, for instance, if you wanted that to be like a way of amping your damage if you're not running Sharp Eyes. I know a combo that people will usually run. I don't know. Let's see if I'm a scrub and actually have it set up right now or not. But if you just want like a really cheap budget way to like sustain pretty like somewhat efficiently. Let's see, do I have it? Okay, so crit up 3, just because like SC to crit rate wise, this is just like super efficient. It's the best out of the bunch. Proud Force, because that's what we're talking about here. Proud Force is based on mind, so really cheap ways to just boost your innate mind. So fast fort, fast metis, to just like help reduce damage, and then also this will help your Proud Force. And then also removing Sharp Eyes and running Dusk, because this will just be another flat boost as well. So just helps those things to just work like much better, and yeah, I like
your
it.
build's like mine.
Yeah, is it? Nice.
I actually removed Sharp Eyes just because of how well he consists, and I ran Dusk instead for the
nice
Proud Force proc.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
See, I think it's
the only thing that I had, I wish. Oh man, I was so mad, and of course Jolene has it. But the only Earth crit raise is on the Sword of Mana collab.
Oh yeah,
the Trials of Mana collab. The one thing on that damn arc is strict to LR. I mean, so damn it. As I was trying to figure out ways to do crit rate, and also if you are going to use the bow, using the arc. What was it? Heavenly. What is it called? Heavenly's Bow Star Lord. Yeah, it's when the bow's equipped, you get another critical rate of plus 10%.
Yep.
And then you also get damage weakness plus 25%, and then grants you an extra tech for each critical hit. Yeah. So if you're trying to do a Proud Force little small crit with him, then that's gonna work too. Yep. Because he doesn't need extra damage, so you can. Arc is just basically more some kind of stat that's gonna help the unit overall.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but again, if you're just looking to max out damage, you could. Because he already is hitting his numbers anyway, you could pretty viably just throw all the crit stuff on him, stack up crit. You could run the Experian Bow along with Heaven Star Lord, along with like Ancient Hammer if you want, and just get as high as you want. But I think you do make some sacrifices in regards to like tankiness, and he can be a pretty bruisery type character. So
I would have sacrificed Sharp Eyes for something else. I was
yeah.
I was kind of bummed out when I saw Sharp Eyes on there.
Yeah, well, I think that it'll help new players probably, just because it's an easy way to get
absolutely.
damage. So
Yes.
it is what it
50%
is.
huge from your players.
But I agree. I could have definitely taken something else. Like, imagine if he had Pirate Feast for free instead.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. Ridiculous. Okay, let's move on to the arc. Aaron versus the female Titan. This is, it's an interesting one. It's got some nice art, as we'd expect. Plus points.
Really cool
It's
art.
one of my favorites, and probably the whole game.
Yeah, Adis heard that.
I love this arc.
Adis heard that they wanted, or that we wanted them to make more waifus, so they gave us a Booba arc. Okay. I don't know if that's what we meant, but we'll take it. So, arc trait. A special damage boost based on the number of living allies. Okay, we don't have a lot of things that boost our special damage, other than like Eldrav, and I believe the Killing Machines does too. Does anything else boost your special damage, really?
Like special damage in specific from arcs? I don't think so.
Yeah, so it's just generic stuff beyond that, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Eldrav is going to be number one for that. Always.
Yeah. All right. Damage to guardian enemies plus 20%, niche, but okay. Damage taken when guarding, even more niche. Okay. Like, I mean, it's good if you put it on a guard, but like you're not going to be needing all of these things. So this is kind of a random mashup. It feels like, When an enemy uses special, restore unit special gauge 30%. That's pretty cool, actually. I think that could be kind of helpful. I think sometimes there's specials that get used by like minor enemies too. Like I vaguely recall in the campaign there's like wolves that'll like time stop and like do a big howl. I wonder if that counts as a special and like on different waves if it just charges really quickly that way. But I don't think that this is game breaking at all. It feels more flavorful than anything,
Yes.
So
yes.
Interesting skill set. Grand Guard, Guard Charge. I think that it's fair to say everybody expected Counter to just sort of get swept under the rug and be like, hey, let's forget we ever made that mistake. And this doesn't make it good as far as I can tell, but
no,
I'm hoping that it's foreshadowing maybe some more Counter support or Counter reworks to come. We will see.
Yes.
Maybe this is like
preparation.
foreshadowing that we're gonna get a counter unit.
Yeah,
a unit that just like works off of just straight counters. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
we really need to see actually.
Well, I think another thing that, in my opinion, is absolutely essential for like counter to be a thing is like they just need to make it so that the counter hit that comes in, it counts as regular attack damage. So like it counts as physical as far as scaling goes. It procs researches. It can crit in order to like do Proud Force. Like it needs to be a standard thing instead of just being a generic counter hit that
like
does nothing
or some shit.
Yeah,
like an additional damage or additional number floating above the head.
Yeah.
Like we don't want that.
Now, if I'm trying really hard to make this do something, I did learn something a couple months back from Lake when I was over on Reddit, which is counter as far as like chance to trigger isn't like guard, and I thought it was. So like guard, if you have an instance that says chance to activate guard, that's just it. You have your chance to activate guard. Stacking more, it doesn't do anything. But apparently if you have multiple instances of counter, like you have counter equipped, you have the crown that gives you a chance to counter, you have an arc that gives you a chance to counter, all of those are independent chances to counter. They do stack. Which means like you could potentially be gaining more SCT back off of this in some cases than like, I mean, probably not guard charge just because I think every hit charges you SCT, but
yeah, it doesn't come close. But,
it's interesting, I guess. It's still bad though. Don't try to make counter work, people, please. It's bad.
Nope, it'll never
not
work.
Yet.
It's
not
so
yet.
At least not now. Yeah.
HP up 4.
There's some like great ideas behind it though.
HP up 4 is actually pretty good for some people. Like this is only on 1 SSR, and this is one of the more efficient ones. Like this is the third thing that I put on a unit if I'm bumping HP. HP plus 2 and HP max are the only ones that are better. As far I'm pretty sure my math's right on that. So yeah, pretty decent. Battle of the Titans. Again, really niche. We have no armor or weapons. Increased damage dealt and reduced damage taken by 20%. If you happen to be running Lug naked in arena, cool. Neat.
But let's touch base on this real quick. So this
Okay.
is what I want to see more of, and not the niche, stats, but the low SC cost of it. I mean, that is a really
That
good
is
save for what is attached.
You're
to
right.
it. Like, it's huge. And now you get that, like, what is it? Thunder attack raise is like 12 SC or like some crazy number, right? And it's 20% of something damage dealt or like to Thunder, but 5 SC for 20% damage dealt and damage taken minus 20% at 5 is insane. So I'm hoping that they listen to what a lot of us are saying. Like, we want more skills for, we want it to be evened out more so that we don't feel like we're wasting so much SC on something so little. So like that's just a pinnacle for like hopefully for the future and what we could potentially see for SC saves for different kinds of skills.
Yeah.
So I mean, even though a lot of people aren't going to use that, like I look at it a different way.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
I agree. I agree completely. Like making things that are really, really niche but efficient if you play the niche. Like what if we got something that gives you a bonus if you're dual wielding spears specifically? Like who's doing that?
Right.
But you could if the
right.
skill's, worth the SC to do,
Absolutely.
So yeah. What I want is to get more units like Lug. What I want to see is I want the classic old man anime trope that's like a hobbly old guy, like martial arts guy, and then as soon as he takes his robe off, he gets fucking ripped. So he's like just fine, but if you take his clothes off, he's a badass. And then we throw this on him, and we're like, oh, if you got that arc last year, congrats,
Last
you got
year,
the
now
thing.
it comes into play.
You can finally use Battle of the Titans and Shiny Monkey on somebody. Yay. Or
Young Balin.
Yeah, also getting something like maybe we eventually get a part called like Martial Arts Master or something where it's like when you're naked, you double your hits. Like basically dual wield, but you don't have anything equipped. So like you don't get all the stats and all the passive buffs from it, but you still get that effect, and then you can kind of play with it a little bit more, Maybe it's like maybe it's you do twice as many hits, but instead of reducing your damage by 60%, you actually get a damage increase for foregoing having weapons. And then like
Pretty nice.
could actually start doing something. So
I think we do more of that than anything. Like even in the Discord, we will like make up shit. We'll make up a character and we will like spend an hour
Dude, I
making
want
up
it, though.
skills.
yeah, I know.
What if?
It's
What
fun.
if? And like Zero, I just imagine this badass like kung fu dude with his shirt off and like just fist bare, and then that would work. Like
Yeah, dude, like basically Maja.
hits.
Basically think Maja, except when he takes his robe off, he goes from being this hobbly old man to just being fucking jacked.
And the animation starts as battle starts. So he's like, and then the battle starts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. That's so silly.
His battle start animation, he flexes and his shirt explodes.
Yes. Like an old school fighting game like Fatal Fury or something. Like something outrageous.
Oh, man.
I would love to see it.
Okay, more stuff. Auto Protect, that's on an SR, nobody cares. Ultimate Boost 3, we haven't seen this before. This is nice.
Awesome.
If you're looking to maximize specials, this is great.
50%, dude.
That's great.
That's crazy.
I have nothing else to say. That's awesome.
I think the SC cost is justified.
I agree.
50%.
That sounds great to me. Yeah, totally.
I did want to say I can't remember if it was DK or if it was U0, but I think it was DK when the Trials of Mana collab had ended and we like gave our final thoughts. And he mentioned something about the arcs not being unique anymore in like the sense of like the skills that they brought. And now that like more and more keep coming out, I'm gonna have to like agree with him, and I kind of want that to be the case as well. Like countercharge, Battle of the Titans, and Ultimate Boost 3. Like those are unique.
Yep.
Right. But then you have Grand Guard. Okay, we have an arc that has this. We have an arc that has HP up 4. We have an arc that has auto protection. Like, well, I get that having more, just like, hey, if you don't have this one arc, you're shit out of luck on that skill. And I get it by giving it to others, that you give people other chances to getting it. But I don't know. I feel like with collabs, maybe collabs specific, I feel like the skills, like all the skills themselves, should be unique, not in like,
Yeah.
hey, this is like super busted, but just like, just bring something different,
Yeah,
right?
I
Instead of
think-
just, oh, it's just another arc that has, skills that other arcs that we already have that are permanent. So
Yeah, I
I just wanted
agree.
to mention that.
Yeah, and I will say, I want it to be not even just having unique things like these three, but I want those things to be uniquely branded as well. Like, Countercharge is something that we could just get on an SSR. Ultimate Boost 3, we could just get that on an SSR. This is Attack on
Right.
Titan. This has one Attack on Titan skill on it. Like, I prefer
Okay.
I prefer the old school stuff where it's like all of the teachable skills are uniquely named and some special thing. You could have a cure spell, or you could have holy water, or whatever the hell like things are called, like have your own
water?
yeah, pure water. I don't know, whatever the basic heal spell was that was on the one. They had conversation and blessing of mana, and like they had all of these different things on an arc that was different, and like the Dr. Stone ones too. Just a whole bunch of unique things. Maybe they weren't overly useful, but like they had some effects that could be good. So I miss the flavor. Like, we could have gotten this, and it could have been like Titanic Transformation or something, and it could have just been power from specials plus 50%. Like, you could have just given it a unique icon, a different name, and like that's the effect, and we just never see Ultimate Boost 3.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's another thing that I'm kind of looking for. Is like, I love the flavor wins, and they it's just not happening anymore with some of these. But either way, good skill, and I agree with the price point, especially because it's literally the same as the other two. Ultimate Boost is 3 SC for 20, 5 for 30. Add them together, it's literally this. So yeah,
It's pretty insane.
on point. Then we have Scout Cloak. Very similar to Levi's Cloak. Plus defense, mind, HP. Nice. I do like that it's a chance to nullify physical and special damage. So I assume this is 10% as well. But like, we don't see much special damage mitigation ever. We have to pretty much go out of our way to like raise defenses or debuff or, put up elemental walls, knowing exactly what their elemental damage type is, stuff like that. So,
Right.
I kind of like it. It's not bad. And then you get fire resistance too, and a little bit of ice resist. Not bad. It'd be nice if there was some ailment support on there, but yeah, it's not bad for just a thing.
Yeah, me and John were talking about how much we could actually put. How many? Because I believe that's 10% chance to nullify physical and special.
It should be.
So we're trying
We'd have to
to
look.
see. Yeah, we're trying to figure out what a like 90%. If we did 90% on that, what would happen? So we were like trying to stack all the percentages. I think the highest we got was like 30, 40%. I think it was 30%.
Oh, to
Chance to
nullify damage taken?
Yeah. But we were
I
all
mean-
like, man, what if they made just like this a crazy invasive unit? Like, we just UI Goku like unit, or you don't even, you just don't
Yeah.
even get hit.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you could. It's the thing is, like, none of them stack anyway. So like
Yeah.
they're all like their own independent chances and stuff.
Yeah,
so I don't
right,
know
right.
exactly
But
how
like
the math
more
shakes out, but-
sources, right?
Exactly, yeah, you just keep stacking it. I started doing that before. What I used to do with my Eliza for Fall Mega is I would just run a ton of revives. And sometimes I would, when I'm manually playing, I would run like Mirage Tower, just because it's funny when aggro gets onto you. You pop Mirage Tower, Fall Mega does nothing the rest of the fight. It's fantastic. But I was like, you know what? I don't need literally any of my other slots other than like I'm using them
Right.
for revive. So what if I just make a different build? So I have my usual Sunflame and Illusion, which are both like 10% chances to dodge. But then added Armored Vest, the Mantle, whatever the hell that's called. Could use this. This is probably better, so I would upgrade to this if I ever get this arc, which I won't because I'm not pulling for it, and it's collab. And then I put the Ninja attire on her as well for an extra like 7 or 8% chance to dodge, and she just innately almost never gets hit by Fall Mega, and it's hilarious. So I was like, yeah, this is a thing. This is pretty great. I like it. I like it a lot. We just got Smoke
wanted
Signal
to-
too. I think Smoke Signal is another chance to nullify damage, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so that was another free
I wanted to mention. Have you looked at the HP stat on this thing?
Dude, that's pretty great. That's pretty nutty.
That is massive, bro.
Yeah, there's not
And
a
it's
whole
not
lot.
even extended.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that that competes with that. That's pretty hefty. I mean, I'm kind of curious, like, what my other arcs actually look like here. If we sort by HP. Why did you click that? That's not what I was looking for. All right. So let's take a look. So Kagasuchi is my current highest, and that's lower.
Oh wow.
I mean, Machine Life Forms is there, but that's also lower at base. So that's unextended. So like, yeah, that's some thick HP.
Yeah, it's pretty massive.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anyway, TLDR in the arc. Overall, really nice art. It feels like super duper niche. Nobody chased this. If you get it, you might eventually have some use for some of these things. Maybe, possibly. But it's just fine. I think Mikasa's arc was much better. Had a better... It's sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I went ahead and extended the HP on it just cause, and it goes 3 times, and it gets 645 more HP.
Nice. That's pretty crazy. Oh, man. Beautiful. Love it. For science.
For science. Just, I was just curious. So.
Yeah. So, I think the Ether Reward on Mikasa's is better. I think the equipable trait is better. And I think having Scout Regime on it is also better. So I just like the other arc a lot more. I think it's way more generically applicable to the game. But this one's cool, and I wouldn't be mad to get it.
For collector purposes, yeah.
So, regarding Part 2 Gacha, any other comments before we move on to anything else?
I don't have anything else to say.
Hope you didn't have to pity.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people were just like wailing for him.
Yeah,
just
if you
for him.
If you have your tickets, good luck to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for who you want, who you like the most. I would ignore the whole who's better. Go for who you like. It's funny because I think Levi and Mikasa look their sprite look almost identical. So when they're actually fighting, I don't know who the hell's who.
Yeah. I want to do this full screen thing. So I wanted to just do a real quick showing of just like Levi and how his stuff works. So I realize this isn't the pinnacle of difficulty, but I know that there's probably some people that'll watch this that have struggled here before. Obstructing Advocate, I have answered so many times on forums and stuff like, hey, how do I beat this fight? How do I, like, can I get some help? Could somebody help carry me through this campaign stage? Where, like, you come in, you're fighting DeGrogue. She's a bit tanky, sort of. You get her a little bit weak. She leaves. Dudes come in that are physically resistant. There's multiple waves of enemies that come in. She comes back, gets fully healed, like, an extra time after that. It's a little bit annoying for some people. No, don't attack. Let's honey elixir, please. Okay, hold on. I didn't click because I was talking. Hold on.
Get it together, man.
Professional. It's also playing on Steam. I don't do mouse gaming. Who mouses things? Anyway, I just thought, what does this guy do if you just come into, like, some of these casual fights that, like, sometimes cause people problems, you know? I'm sure there's plenty of other units that can, like, do this sort of stuff. You know, it's not super unique to him. But I just thought it'd be an interesting test to see, like, hey, how does this end up looking? Oh, the fight's over. There's no phases. There's no extra enemies spawning in. There's no healing. It's just over. Okay. Cool.
Nice slideshow.
Great. I mean, on my end, it's better than my phone, but we're still on Steam.
On our end, it's a fucking slideshow.
Well, okay. Well, hey, that settles it. There's not any showcases that are going to happen on here, because clearly they're just not going to work with our current tech, so...
oh my god.
Apparently funneling through Steam, or through Discord, just not the greatest. Hopefully other people got to see things at least.
Slideshow? It did.
Bro, it's skipping, alright? It's I think a slideshow is a pretty generous thing to say.
Yeah, fair. Anyway, he's a lot of fun. I like him a lot. He's really great. Other part 2 stuff. We got a new fight. Can beat it once, and then you don't really need to do it again. But, you know, it's there.
With the part 2, we did get that, it was with part 2, right? That accessory that's like 2% more damage than the near the pod. Right? Or was that a reward for doing the quest? Now I can't even remember.
For doing this?
No, okay. Wait, was it Hanji's goggles?
Oh,
was that
yeah,
part
yeah.
1 or was that part 2?
I'm pretty sure that was part 2. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was one of the
Okay.
point rewards for it.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was, a point reward. Yeah, so Hanji's goggles, when hitting an attribute weakness with a physical attack, damage plus 12%. So, pretty nice. And then you also get a blind resist.
Yeah.
The stats, stats are the stats. But yeah, for those that don't have the pod, this is really good.
It's pretty
I
good.
like it.
Yeah, nice little way to boost your damage. I'm down. And this was the other one. Oh, low chance. I assume this is only like 5%. So this is probably the same as the mantle. Yeah, so it's something. But yeah, good call out. Good stuff. Were any of the rest of these really that worthwhile? This book was also relatively new. I thought this was pretty solid. It's just like a baby dusk effect. And gives you some curse resist, so like that's not awful. I don't know how often I'll use it, but it's there. This has a cool icon. Moving on. Chance to nullify magic damage taken. I don't know if that was from this event or not, to be quite honest. I feel like that was from something else. But anyway, yeah, good stuff. Good call out.
Someone in the in your stream actually wants what are Levi's best arc options?
Yes, they're asking a question.
So I think part of it depends on what build you're going for. Like for instance, if you want to go for a crit build to just maximize damage as much as you can at the cost of anything else, then you go with the common things, which is pursuit attacks. So we're looking at Heaven's Bow Starlord is going to give all of your crits an extra 25% neutral attack hit. So if things are super weak to ice, you could run this, or if they're super resistant to ice. Otherwise, the best is Icy Guardian, which is here, because this gives you 50% pursuit damage, but it is ice. So basically, if they have like 50% or more ice resist, this is going to be worse than the other. But it's also worth noting that you get that extra 10% crit when using Heaven Starlord as well. So, it probably evens out. Maybe it's like if they have 40 resist or more. I don't know. Somebody's definitely done the math on what's optimal between the two. But those are those things. Otherwise, just kind of your standard DPS stuff, in my opinion. So, like, always a favorite for me is Swordsman's Tale. Just makes your damage consistent. He doesn't always need the damage, but it's good. If you run out of gas buffs, you have extra movement speed to help that out a bit. It's just good. But I think that most cases, what you really, really want, because his damage is already pretty solid, just run Stardust Live for an extra 1 stock. It gives you nothing else, but 1 stock is worth it. Like, going from 2 to 3 on his S3 is pretty great. And then getting all of the other stocks as well. So, like, if you're just running multiplayer and you're just running, like, Pirate's Feast and you don't want to be, like, time-stopping with either Honey Elixir or maybe maybe you have WAP, but maybe you don't have those things and you just have Pirate Feast, yeah, this is going to give you more damage overall, so I love this arc. You can obviously run Council, in which case you have to activate the arc skill on the final wave to do it. But this just gives it to you all the time, which I really love, so... And also, conveniently gives you +2 to illness resist, which he's weak to. So, it's not bad. And actually, stat buffs... Oh, wait. Stat buffs active... I don't know if this... I don't think this
applies to his...
You think it would?
Irwin's thing?
Yeah, you think it would?
I think it does.
Okay. That will have to be tested, because it says stat buff specifically, but I feel like it's just buffs that are handed out. So, like, I would hope that being, like, a fast buff, it would work, and being, like, physical damage. But, yeah, this is actually, like, cleaner than I thought. Like, he doesn't have much waste here, if that does affect that. That's kind of cool. So yeah, start us live.
Something that I did notice is, for whatever I'd never noticed it, but why does Stardust Live start with 83 MP? That's a lot. I haven't even extended it. Oh, it goes to 99. What the hell?
Yeah, it goes up to 99. I wonder if that's fully extended. Yeah, I've fully extended it. So yeah, it goes up to 99. I mean, it's Tink's arc, and she's a support, and she doesn't have MP sustain, so she has lots of max MP. So it kind of makes sense, you know. It's good.
It's Logue's favorite arc. It's so funny because Logue's like this mean-looking thing, and then you just got this flashy stage that he sits upon.
Another thing that people might disagree with, but sometimes if I am already hitting all the damage I have no way to increase my other damage, and I just want to make sure that I'm reliable and not going to be dying to, like, big wipes and things. Sometimes I'll just randomly slap Ancient Weapon on things, because like just the stat boost, the reduce 15% damage from bosses, and the raw stats between the defense and mind, it just turns pretty much any unit into a house. So I don't know. I like it if you're finding that he's if you're finding he's dying too much. I like running that arc on anybody, not just him. So
it's a house.
A house?
Yeah,
tank or a house?
Zero's references, man.
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry, you've never heard that before? Like
A house?
just
No,
like, just
I
like a
had never
complete
heard house.
a complete house. Okay, all right, well, all right. This is also just generically.
Sorry, Boomer.
Yeah, this is just generically another way to boost your damage. 30% to non-human boss monsters, which is everything in multiplayer. So just a flat 30% damage increase. This also works on your mages, by the way. This is not physical damage, so like mages can use this too. So pretty decent option as well. And if yeah, oh, and I mentioned it before, but Phoenix Blow too, if you're wanting his special to like reliably get there by like the final wave, this will give you 10% as you get enemy kills. So you'll pretty reliably in like campaign stuff have his ult by the final wave. Depending on how many enemies there are, maybe you'll even get 2. Plus some extra break damage, skill damage. I mean, this is just generically a good option for a lot of people, but considering he has an ult that's good too, you know, that's a thing. So anyway, any you guys can think of that would be like other standouts?
For Mikasa, I like the Mech Dragon. Sometimes I use it
For Mikasa,
outside
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, I think the Mech Dragon can be good for her too.
Yeah, it's 4 SC and you get all those buffs. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. And
There's
not a whole ton of ways to hand out the weak to thunder.
Right.
So yeah, I would say if you're just trying to make like a super generic Mikasa build that just works in most stuff, this is probably what I would run. Just because you can debuff stuff. You don't necessarily have to run Trish. Probably you could still run like Experion and a sword and Heaven Star Lord, and then just run that. You know.
Sword of Corpses is really good too for running a sword on Levi. If you don't have anything else, it's a really good backup too.
Sure. Yeah, it could be good. Tweaks pointed out the Phoenix Blow special is by chance, so it's not going to completely reliably get it for you.
20% chance. I think I could be wrong.
It might be. I didn't realize that it was a chance. I honestly don't actually use it too much. Sometimes I do, but I feel like I have other stuff that usually comes in bigger. 25% chance.
I know a lot of people.
Yeah, 25% chance. So very close.
I wanted to say a lot of people overlook it, but I don't know, I'm still a fan of using. Obviously, it's a collab, but Secret of Mana, just for that 30% if you've got buffs active, and nowadays units don't have any problem reaching the 6 buffs. But you have to have a sword equipped. I don't know. I mean, it's 30% damage.
Oh, yeah, totally. So if you happen to have this, that's another just easy way to boost your damage up. So, yeah, I agree. I do often overlook it, but you're right. Having that many buffs is not very difficult.
There's also an arena, Final Fantasy Adventure, 30% skill damage. If you have it and you want to run it, and you get 10 and you take minus 10% damage taken, so pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty good indeed.
I like how there's a lot of general arcs that you can put on him to kind of like.
Yeah, he can kind of use whatever because he's just good.
Yeah,
he's just a good unit.
Like you don't Yeah, you don't have to rely on crazy arcs. So.
Like I said before, if you're wanting to leverage his ult, Great War of Ruin or Eldrav are both really good. Just because Eldrav increases that cap by an extra 5k, which is pretty significant on him, and then Great War lets you back to back, and also instantly charge it if you wanted to. So, yeah, fun stuff.
And the Great War has a Slayer effect too, so that's it.
God Slayer.
Yeah, that's every head in God gives you a little boost there too.
Absolutely, and makes him tankier against him. So, solid.
Very nice.
Now, obviously, I don't have every arc, so I'm not thinking of something. So I'm kind of relying on you guys to think of something else.
Okay.
If there's other things that
there's...
I don't have. Oh, Council. Obviously, Council is good on him, potentially, to just be able to get some of those stocks up, especially if you have like WAP or Honey Elixir, or you just have it at level 10, in which case, good for you. Great. So that's good.
I wanted to say the Trials of Mana collab, the Trials of Mana remake, Earth attack damage plus 20%, and then Killer, Slayer, or Attribute weakness minus 20% damage taken. So, offensive and then some defensive if you want to run that on him.
And also in that boss wave, getting 1 extra stock back, like that effectively is like if you're weak, like that's more or less does the same thing as what Tink's Arc does, since you get an extra S3 out of the deal, but only if you're weak, but...
Right.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Cool. So we chained over to that from talking about the boss fight. Anybody have any take on the boss fight?
For
we got this
new one?
Yeah. So we got this new one where we're fighting Aaron and Mikasa. That's where we get the final Mikasa and Levi prisms. In general, I've heard some people struggling with it. I didn't realize it had mechanics because I cheesed it, but not everybody can do that.
Mechanics?
Yeah. Mechanics, who deals with that?
Yeah, Mikasa's trait activates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You little bitch.
Yeah. And I've also heard that they hit really hard in general. Like between Aaron and Mikasa, like they can wreck you pretty quick in general.
And Aaron will launch his S4 at the end, which will take out the whole board. So
yeah.
They both have a chance of launching their S4s, but there is a way to bypass all that stuff.
Yeah. I was very excited because, like I said, I didn't get her when I could have. I instead got Shift Golroth, so that was a perfect time for me to come get revenge on those pulls. And I brought in Shift Golroth, and I did the cheesy thing, and I was able to use Gwar to get a 0-second clear on this first time through. And I was like, hell yeah, I did the thing. Feels good.
Welcome to the club, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. I was concerned. I was like, oh man, I can't quite do it because I don't have, my Gwar is only like level 8 now because the shop just rolled over, so I got another one out of Crimson Ore shop. So I'm sitting at 8.
Yes.
But Golroth, because he's a boss, gets plus 30% special on boss wave. And I was like, hell yeah, it just works. Nice. So, yeah, that was pretty great. Love it. So, yeah, it was just a boss fight, nothing new to farm. We're still farming Titan stuff, yay. Nothing else really new in the event, right? I think we're all pretty neutral, doing the same.
It's pretty much over. It's pretty much over, just grinding out the last bit of unit souls. And so I haven't even started Levi. I mean, not Levi. I haven't even started Aaron yet.
Yeah.
Because I've been working on Levi and Mikasa. But yeah, we have a couple days left, so I'll be finishing off that. But yeah, just make sure everybody's taking advantage of all the goodies in the shop and stuff like that. Like we said on the last podcast, it's extreme value in there. Definitely don't want to miss out on it.
My game keeps on giving me a comm error. What the hell? It won't let me leave. Okay, I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, but I don't think there's really much to add. Like you guys said, there's nothing new. Not a lot new was added, just the fight, and we're just back to Titan grinding. It's pretty much the end of the event, as DK was saying.
Yep.
Yeah, we're anticipating the next general character. Me and John were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah.
We're talking about shift Logia.
Yeah.
Or shift Val.
I hope
it's got to be shift graded because of that leak.
Very interesting. What Jawline said is that I didn't even know this, but he said that originally the original Logia was supposed to be Thunder, so that if we do get a shift Logia, it will be a Thunder unit. So that's pretty interesting.
I don't know if Will. I kind of mentioned maybe.
Maybe.
There's a high
Nah,
chance that he might be Thunder.
Nah, he was actually emailing Adis like last night, drunk as shit.
Oh, okay.
If y'all.
Okay, so with the collab coming to an end, and we went over it and all that jazz. How do you think it compares to the previous one, Trials of Mana? And while I ask that, you'll have to excuse me. I gotta go to the gentleman's room.
You're not gonna be here for your own questions.
No.
So I guess here's the thing. Like, I'm trying to remember what we did for Secret of Mana.
There was nothing.
What was that event? Like, at the very
nothing.
least, when we get other events, I'm going to remember that we had this Titan fight that had some unique art. It wasn't overly inspired, but, like, it's a little bit unique. Gave people some fun things of, like, going in and, like, trying to sort of min-max their builds. Brought the community together a little bit by getting people throwing on friend supports for Gilo Keel, trying to find other ways, not cheesing it to be able to clear it quickly. Brought a lot of controversy of people bitching about not being able to do it and get all the rewards really easily. Like, it stirred things up and actually, like, made some conversation happen for good and bad in some cases, and, like, that's more memorable than most collabs. And the units are pretty cool, and we got the best freebie unit we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So overall, like, I would say this is one of my more favored collabs because of that. I do think more probably could have been done, but in general, it's up there for me.
I don't even think we got unit souls for Trials of Mana. I think we had to just do it normally. I can't remember getting unit souls in there. Did we?
You might be right. I don't think we were able to just grind those
I don't think we
souls.
did. No. And then the shop was barren. There wasn't anything really worth in the shop. Like this. Okay, like outside, the boring event at times. Because a lot of people are complaining about that, and I do partially agree with it. But that shop, man, saves a lot of time. It helped you progress your units quickly so that you can enjoy the collab more. Depending on how much time you were going to put into this game during this collab, kind of really determine like how far you can get inside, like how far you get to beating that Titan. They gave you the way I look at it is like they gave you enough mats to E5. They gave you the mats to build him from 1 to 100. Like, yeah, I don't know. And then they also put Godforge stuff in there. So I don't know. By 100%, this was way better than Trials. I think. And then, like you said, the community kind of came together, and we all saw a Great War of Ruin with G. Luke's, and it was just. I had fun. It was lackluster in content, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I really did. I really didn't complain much at all about this at all. And besides the Repel Awards being, at first I thought it was gonna be community wide, but it's more like single player, so that was a little weird. But other than that, I found it pretty great.
Yeah,
I didn't like that community thing just because I couldn't get carried. I had to actually do shit.
But no, man, for newer players, it was awesome, man, because I could just like go to the shop. Everything's in there. Like, it's just that simple. Like, get your coins, go to the shop, buy what you need.
The only thing that I think was better in the Trials of Mana collab, because we did get something, and that was that we actually had a time trial.
Bro, I was so upset. I wanted a time trial.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw early word from people who usually talk to people, and they're like, yeah, there's definitely not a time trial here. And, like, they were saying that, like, before we got the collab, and I was like, well, usually when certain people are talking about stuff, like, usually if they say no, it's usually not. So that's a little sad. Could have been that. Something else that I could be totally wrong on this, and maybe it's just, like, a placebo effect, but, like, it feels really often, like, when we get events, the reward structures and, like, how well thought out things are feels really lacking. Like, it's either, like, all for, like, new players and, like, everybody can get everything, but there's not really that many rewards, or, like, 99% of the rewards are things that endgame doesn't care about, or maybe it's just requires too much grinding and it's not that balanced. To me, I have this passive feeling of the way that, like, the honor rewards were done, everything offered in the shop, the cost of everything in the shop. It feels like everything was intelligently structured, in my opinion, to where, like, depending on how much you're willing to engage, you have routes to do certain things that are going to matter to you and your account. Like, endgame has the god spheres. You might not be able to get all of them, but you could min-max and keep going and get, like, as much of, like, a whole bunch of them where you normally couldn't.
Right.
Whereas some players, you're not going to get god spheres at all. They're so ridiculously priced, but you could instead use those things to get other upgrade materials you need. You can get a ton of clusters and mega clusters and other things that, like, endgame players don't necessarily need. So, like, that structure was there. And then if you look at, like, honor points that you get from, like, getting an instant clear on easy, or like a 30-second clear on hard versus a 30-second clear on god mode, and like what ranking you can get, like, all those rewards feel like they're tiered in a way that people should be able to get a benefit for things. And if you really want to try hard and your account's not strong enough, or like you don't have quite enough know-how, like, you need to engage with the community, and you need to go and learn, oh, hey, people are having friend units. I can go try to make friends with these things. Or I can learn some of these other deeper mechanics to try to do things differently and just try harder. So it just felt like it was more well thought out than most events, in my opinion. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but that's just the general feeling I've had, is it feels better thought out. So
it felt better, like 100%. Like, normally I would say like a complaint or two, but at the end of the day, it really just wasn't really that much wrong. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have mind some, Attack on Titan music at the beginning and maybe throughout the Colossus fight, but I mean, the little things like that, But I mean, yeah, man, I love the training grounds, what they did. I know, like I said previously, like, you usually only get 3 tries to do that, the XP grind, but they were like, okay, well, if you that's all you didn't pull in the characters and you want to build your other units, well, here's a chance to really, finish out your roster. At 5 tickets, we're going to give you the exact same XP you would get on your 3 times a day. And same thing goes with AP. Like, there was a lot of like consideration to like people that did not get any units or did not get in or weren't going to spend any money in this club. There was still something for like them to do, which I thought was really cool.
My biggest gripe with the event is not even the event itself. It's the fact that they want 300 coins. 300 event, all those coins or whatever for one of the SP.
That's crazy.
That was my biggest thing.
So
other than that, I think the collab was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing too crazy, nothing too bad, but that's my biggest gripe.
Yeah. So I agree that it's a little too much. But at the same point, I think that I understand why, and it plays into, like, one, obviously we can't get all of the spheres out of the shop, but we can get the ones.
Give us the option. You should.
But we can get the ones that we do want, and I think that it's only annoying to you because you can't clear it.
Exactly.
Like, what if they what if they just said all the spheres you can only buy 3? You would be happy with that balance. Instead, they said, no, we're going to give you... Instead, they're like, we're going to give you more. You can't get everything, but you can get more of the things you want. You just can't clear the shop. But if it was cheaper, then some of the other players that can't do all of the grinding or are unwilling to go get 1,500 honor and get as many coins, they could really easily buy a whole bunch of red coins to get those endgame rewards that, like, are tougher for us to be able to go get. Whereas, like, every 2 days, we get one extra one just off honor rewards alone, because that's 3,000 coins,
Yeah.
So, like, again, it feels like something that they probably thought about, and like maybe they didn't want those spheres to just be free to people that just started the game.
Right.
And like, we still get a whole bunch of stuff, so I think we're just used to maxing out and clearing the entire shop, so it feels bad that we can't, which is fair. My like mild OCD I have is like, just get the rest of the things, but the net amount that I've gotten from this collab feels pretty great, so I can only be so upset.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So,
yeah, excited for what's next. We have a brand new year starting. I'm really, really excited to see what they're going to bring this year.
Yeah.
As far as like the new art characters, and I mean, I don't know if you guys played the story yet, but the new advocate is just looking really good, guys. Like, I am beyond excited to see her drop like pretty soon here.
Yeah, it'll happen for sure.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I was wrong on the extra ones. Tweaks pointed out. I math wrong. It's every 6 days we get an extra one. So we basically got an extra 2, just off of the login rewards. Yeah, because it's 9,000 coins total, which is 6 days. I just had the thing wrong in my head because I was thinking about a bunch of different maths earlier.
Damn, 9,000 per spear. Whew.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah,
But
I think I might be able to get like 3 each, and I'm happy with that. Like, oh, it's funny how you said that. Yeah,
Yeah.
3, but if you could only get 3, yeah, no, I'm 100% happy with that. That actually saves so much time in God Forge.
Yeah, so like I haven't gotten any of the things. So like I'm sitting on almost 1,200 right now. So like I'll have more. So I'll be able to get a pretty good amount. So like if I really want to, that's what I've got right now.
Ooh.
Yay.
Tweaks asked if we
Not
get
that
a
bad.
Valentine's unit, who do you think it will be?
That
Oh.
chick, the lady. Fuck, what's her name? The butterfly lady.
Butterfly lady? Ooh, that'd be sweet. Dude, what
Maybe?
if
No?
what if
Yeah,
what
I
if they
don't know.
gave us an update that was a an endgame boss fight or like a tower expansion that unlocked her to be able to be gotten like Schlorg? That would be amazing.
That'd be pretty neat.
That'd be pretty cool. Man.
Um,
Or how about a swimsuit Eliza? Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever actually do like an actual Valentine's unit shift. You know,
Unit?
because they haven't.
That'd be pretty nice.
They haven't before, but like I don't know why not. We have the Arc. I would hope that Maiden's Lovely Banquet is going to be around so people can get that on their accounts because
Yeah.
it's so excellent.
I mean, we've got summer units, we got Christmas units, we had Halloween, or yeah, so Christmas and then summer. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Halloween,
I'm really
we got-
hoping that they bring back Thessalis for Valentine's because I want her really bad.
They won't. They wouldn't do that. She's a summer unit.
How dare you?
I'm sorry, it's too early in the year for her to be out in a bikini. I know we want it, but it doesn't make sense. You know, this is. I mean, come on.
Also, everything should do on Levi. Nice. Tweak said Shift Merity. Okay, that'd be kind of cool too.
I mean, we did get Merity.
Yeah, that's-
Merity was the Valentine's
around the
unit
same time.
last year. Yeah,
She
it was.
was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
She was the Valentine's unit. So it could be. I
Ooh.
mean,
Kinda cool.
it would be cool. I'd be totally down. I'd love a Shift Merity.
Damn it!
I don't know.
It wouldn't be general. She'd be.
As long as I can still use her
No,
as
she'd
a
be
tank
she'd
and
be
defense.
general. She'd be general. I don't think they've ever done a shift that becomes or. Oh, you're saying if she got you're saying if she got the shift, you're saying it would be a seasonal shift.
Yeah, exactly.
Potentially.
'Cause I mean, that's what Tinky was. Tinky was, and
Well-
Lila. They're both general units.
Yeah,
that became
it
shift
depends. It depends how they handle it, though, right? Because like they gave us Merity, who was a general pool unit just on Valentine's Day. So if they don't theme it around Valentine's Day and they just give us a female character shift and just say this is the new shift, you just happen to get it on Valentine's Day because yay waifus, you know that could be a thing.
units.
So
Yeah.
shift fall, yes.
The love is in
Yes.
the air.
Give us Valentine's fall, please. That would be great.
Oh, imagine.
Oh, and you know what her gimmick is? She has a chance on physical attacks to temporarily convert enemies to allies.
Oh my god.
What?
And please, 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 on the arc, give me bow high boost. Quit playing Adis. Bow high boost, please.
Yo, could you imagine making an enemy an ally? What the fuck? That'd be pretty insane, actually. if
Just
that
so
was a
like
thing.
they could
really
su-
insane.
yeah, like they could suddenly.
But it can
pull
only be
aggro.
one unit at a time.
Mhm.
It can't be multiple.
And in big letters, does not work in arena.
Oh no. Well, fuck it. She's trash then.
Yeah, that'd be pretty silly.
Big ass.
Or it could even be tied to a skill. Like maybe she has a stock 1 on like an S2, and then it's like target enemy becomes your ally for 5 seconds or something. It would be cheesy.
Yeah.
It would just be silly. It probably wouldn't be that crazy except in like really niche cases, but I'd love to see those niche cases, you know? That would just be fun.
You make the enemy your ally, but they can only regular attack.
Either way.
They can't use skills or anything.
Either way,
Yeah, that's
being
really
able to like, you know, have them not attack
like
you
the
anymore
Beastmaster.
and have them pull aggro, potentially die because the enemies are attacking them.
And the skill is called Dr. Doolittle. Let's go.
Dr. Doolittle.
Sometimes they get putting bow high boost on a freely obtainable LR. Oh my god.
Yep, that would be great. That would be great.
Oh boy. And I went on to Lakes the other day and I was like, all right, high bow. I mean, bow high boost. And then no arc popped up and it says coming soon. I was like, motherfucker, God.
So before we sign off, because it seems like we're kind of getting towards the end here, since we're talking about speculation and stuff, do you guys have any predictions on anniversary unit or units?
Melee. Or
Melee.
Whatever her name
Melee
is.
Or Shift Rolling, but I think it's gonna be Melee.
I've also heard
Unless-
I've also heard potential speculation. Maybe Adele could potentially be a thing, just because we got Kyle on the last anniversary and he's the heir. So people have said maybe that could be a thing.
Dude,
I think Shift Rolling.
I
Shift Rolling seems pretty likely, but
I'm telling you, if you play that story, holy shit, she is dark, and I want to see more of her. She is mean, bro. And that's like, this story has gotten so much better since like the first arc. There's like a lot of like, I know it's kind of weird, but it's like, I mean, she kills like a lot of people, man, just for fun, and kind of like giggles about it, and she's just. Guys, don't skip the story. Like, for real, it's actually pretty good. And
Wait, LC had story?
Oh, here we go.
so speaking of that, did you see one of the recent memes on the Reddit
No.
where it was what? No. Oh, I mean, yeah, there was mine, but no, I'm talking about
The Levi one?
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
The Levi one?
Yeah, I'm not talking about that one.
Oh.
I'm talking about the one that had Scarlet Witch really angry, and then Thanos looking really confused, and she was like, "You've taken everything from me. No." And he's just, and it says, "Me who skipped the entire story. I don't even know who you are."
Oh, yeah. That's me, bro. That's
I was like, that's pretty on point. I like it. Relatable.
Yep. Me in
Yeah.
every game.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're thinking too, Tweaks. After third Annie, because it'll exist. She's gonna be the new female exist.
Yeah,
Dual wielding
I'm
it.
excited.
that would
It's
make sense.
Nasty. God, she's gonna be so good, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give her
Dark
Omni
become-
Slayer. That'd be pretty great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, and you know what? I was really hoping for like a rainbow. Like, it's kind of funny. We were talking about, like I said, we talk about a lot of like futuristic stuff that's gonna become that we want to see. But it'd be really cool to have now the like rainbow damage, to where like it's kind of like what kind of like Defo does a little bit, but whenever you attack, the numbers, instead of becoming gold or white, they're rainbowed. So that this basically it hits no matter what attribute resistance, attribute weakness, anything. It just automatically caps.
Oh, you're talking
all the
about
time.
yeah, you're talking about true damage basically. Like
Yeah,
nothing
but like,
matters.
with the
You have a
numbers-
fixed amount.
Yeah, like
It just
but the-
always
but I
happens.
kind of want that on her on Melee, and I would like to see like the rainbow numbers like pop up too when she hit. I don't know. That'd be really interesting to see.
Interesting.
But we're all just joking around, and seeing what's in store for this year, for the future. I love speculation. It's fun to see. It's the only thing we got. It's
Yeah,
the only
man.
thing we got.
Good
That's
stuff.
all we got in LC right
Yeah, that's all
now.
we got else is speculation. It's fun to imagine.
Alrighty. Well,
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything else to add to the actual collab.
No, we're just
No.
gonna wait patiently.
yep. See what's coming
Go
up
ahead,
next.
Zero. Sign it off, sir.
Yeah. As usual, come be friends. Follow these guys over on their stuff. Come join us over in Discord. Leave feedback in chat down below. Whatever. Let us know what we can do better. Things you like. Things you don't like. Come back and see us live if you're just catching this on YouTube later. It's a good time. We'd love to answer some questions and be super best friends, etc. So, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.